Hey Preds Nation, not quite the day that some of us may have hoped for our favorite hockey team, but still a busy day just the same. I'll touch on the signing first and then the trade. This morning, before the NHL trade deadline would come and go, the Nashville Predators announced that Rocco Grimaldi, fresh off his shootout winning goal on Saturday versus the Columbus Blue Jackets, who was set to become an unrestricted free agent this summer, was re-signed to a 2-year, $2 million per for a total of $4 million contract. Grimaldi, who started his career with the Nashville Predators last season on a 2-way contract, starting the season in Milwaukee and then endearing himself to Preds Nation with his performance against Dallas during the Preds' short-lived playoff run, has career highs this season in games played, goals, assists, and points. I have to admit, after the arbitration hearing last summer between the Preds and Grimaldi's camp, it sounded like it got very contentious. So I knew Grimaldi would have a career year this season, but I wasn't quite sure if he would want to return after this season had concluded. This puts all those fears to rest. As for the one trade the Preds made today that didn't filter out until almost an hour after trades were allowed to be submitted to the NHL league office, the Nashville Predators have traded Matt Irwin and a 6th-round pick to Anaheim for Corbinian Holzer. I apologize in advance if I am saying that name wrong, since I haven't had much practice in saying it. A further note, the 6th-round pick is not until 2022. Holzer has 4 points this season through 46 games and is averaging about 16 minutes in ice time per game. Holzer is set to wear a number this season with the Preds that has been made famous previously by Greg Johnson, may he rest in peace, and Jordan Tutu, that's right, 22. I then read many tweets today from Preds fans on Twitter that thought the Preds didn't do enough or even get enough in this transaction. Folks, it's Matt Irwin. Many of you long ago wanted him gone, so don't complain now that he has been traded. Even though it is Anaheim, with the lack of success they have had this season, 16 minutes per game is a good total for the Preds to be acquiring with a defenseman, so hopefully Holzer takes the pressure off the other bottom 3 defensemen on the depth chart. While I'm at it, there are also Preds fans I saw who were upset that the team didn't trade soon-to-be UFAs Craig Smith or Mikael Granlund, or Preds player who is going to be a UFA next summer but is having a career year this year, Nick Bonino. Have you looked at the standings lately? You can't blame ownership for wanting to stand pat, considering how close this team is to a playoff spot, considering where they have been previous weeks and months before. And especially considering the number of games in hand the Preds have on teams just behind them in the standings and the ones currently in wildcard spots, ownership wants to see if this team can finally put itself together and get into the playoffs and earn that much needed additional gate revenue. Yes, that's right, Preds Nation. Don't just try to figure out if this team is going to get into the playoffs by looking in the standings by the difference in points with teams around them. With just over a month of the season left, having extra games in hand can actually help propel a team to get on a roll and not be stagnant come the NHL's second season. Take a breath. Step back from the ledge of giving up on the season and relax. There's still time. Now, if they lose to Ottawa tomorrow, we can all start panicking again. With Holzer set to become an unrestricted free agent next summer, the Preds currently have 17 players and a total of just over $72 million in a cap hit in total signed to the main roster for the 2020-2021 season. The Preds have a core locked up leading up until now that should set them up for the next 2 or 3 seasons comfortably. They have also allowed themselves the wiggle room of making a trade this offseason of maybe one core piece if they fail to meet expectations this spring. One more anecdote before I sign off that I want to leave you with about how hockey can be a very strange sport sometimes. Quite often in the NHL, it is when you are least expected to win it all, that's when you actually do. The Penguins in 2009 weren't the preseason favorites to win the Cup. Who thought the Kings were going to win the Cup in 2012 as the 8th seed going in? And the Capitals in 2018 and the Blues in 2019, yeah, they were Cup favorites, but they were not the Cup favorites heading in because of their previous failures, allowing them to have a lot less pressure to finally climb the top of that mountain. Anything can happen in any year. Remember that. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, hit like if you like this video. Hit subscribe if you really like it so you won't miss out on any Pred fan reactions to games, news, or other info involving the Preds in the future. Predemption. Tell your friends.